Back in the 90s when Pokemon first came out, all you'd ever hear is, and I mean this message was drilled into your head. It was even the subtitle of the game. It was at the end of every Pokemon episode, and they even had a whole rap song dedicated to it. Well, in the US at least. In Japan, however, the slogan was never actually "Gotta catch 'em all." "Gotta catch 'em all" was the slogan that ended up being chosen by the US localization marketing team. However, there were other slogans that were considered as well, such as "Catch 'em if you can," which was even used in early press kits sent out by Nintendo of America in 1998, which was right before Pokemon was released in the US, and was even used in the early version of the Pokemon theme song, further showing that catching them all wasn't supposed to be the main focus. But they went with "Gotta catch 'em all" simply because it was the better slogan in terms of selling all things Pokemon. So yeah, "Gotta catch 'em all" may not have been the original Japanese slogan, but catching them all is still basically 100%ing the game, which leads me to the question, was catching them all even worth it? In the original Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, there were only 151 Pokemon to catch, but you only had to catch 150 of them in order for your Pokedex to be considered complete. So you didn't have to catch a Mew in order to complete your Pokedex. And in order to catch them all in the first place, you had to either own both versions of the game, Red and Blue, or have a friend or sibling to trade you some of the exclusive Pokemon over. So we had to connect our Game Boys with a link cable, and finding a friend that had the Pokemon you needed, and a link cable, and having a version of the game that you didn't have, was pretty rough for a lot of people. So after going through all that trouble, finding all those Pokemon, trading all those Pokemon, and catching them all, what exactly do you get for all your troubles? Well, let's head back to Pallet Town and find out. We just talked to Professor Oak, and yeah. So yeah, that was pretty disappointing, but that's not all. You can also go and talk to the Game Freak developers in Celadon City, and he'll give you the real prize for catching them all. And what is it? It's gonna be good, right? Wait, what? That's it?
Way to go, congratulations. May this be one of many standing ovations.
Yep, that's right, we went through all that trouble just to get a crappy diploma. And what am I gonna do with this crappy diploma anyway? Wipe my butt with it? Who cares? I mean, who am I really gonna show this diploma off to? Even back when these games were new, if you did catch them all and you had this diploma to show one of your friends at school or something, at most, all you'll get out of one of your friends would be like, hooray. And that's it. You did all that work just for that? By the time Pokemon Yellow was released, the Game Boy printer was out, so you can print your diploma now. If you even owned a Game Boy printer, which most people didn't. And no, I don't like that. Why couldn't they give us something cool? Like a chance to catch a Mew, or a special trainer battle, or something like that. As a matter of fact, we were supposed to be able to battle Professor Oak. He was going to use the last starter that wasn't chosen, but sadly that idea got removed from the game's story and can only be accessed by a glitch. But that would have been a way better reward for catching them all, getting one last secret battle that only people that caught them all could do. It'd been awesome. And it was the same thing in Gen 2. But it was worse this time, because you had to catch 249 Pokemon this time in order for your Pokedex to be considered complete. There's actually 251 Pokemon in this generation, but you didn't need to catch Pokemon like Mew or Celebi for your Pokedex to be considered complete. But guess what happens when you catch them all in Gen 2? You get a crappy diploma! Again! And that's a whole lot more work for the same exact crappy reward as in Gen 1. You'd think by Gen 2, since Pokemon was so popular, that they would have came up with a better idea for a reward for the people that worked so hard to catch all of those Pokemon. But sadly, that wasn't the case. Because not only did you have to catch all the Pokemon in the version of the game that you're playing in Gen 2, you'd also have to catch the exclusive Pokemon from either Silver or Gold, whatever opposite game you're playing. And you'd have to own a Gen 1 game in which you had all the Pokemon that you needed that you could trade over to your Gen 2 game. Either that or you'd have to have a lot of friends or a lot of siblings to trade with, which would take a long time as well. Now in Gen 3, there's 386 Pokemon. But like in the previous games, you don't need the mythical Pokemon to have a complete Pokedex. But collecting them all in this generation just got way more difficult and way more complicated. In Gen 3 at least, they do give you an exclusive starter Pokemon as a reward, along with a special little star on your trainer card. It's like when I did really good on my homework, my mom would give me a special star sticker. Woohoo! But at least the Johto starter Pokemon is a step up. But yeah, there is still a diploma reward in this game as well. The more generations, the more Pokemon that get added, the less and less people cared to catch them all. So much so that they even got rid of the gotta catch 'em all slogan for a while. And in case you were wondering, it's the same with Gen 4. In Gen 5, they finally started getting it right. If you catch 'em all in Gen 5, you get rewarded with the Oval Charm and the Shiny Charm, which is freaking awesome. It only took them 5 generations to make the reward for catching them all finally worth it. In Gen 6, they actually brought back the gotta catch 'em all slogan in the US as part of the Pokemon X and Y marketing, and the rewards continued to get better from this point forward. But for the first few generations of Pokemon, the rewards were just really disappointing. But then again, looking at it from another point of view, the real reward was the journey along the way. It was all the fun you had playing through the games, all the friends you made, and all of the good memories of those days that you'll never forget. But I still wanted a reward better than this freaking diploma. So what do you guys think? Did you ever catch them all in the first few generations of Pokemon? Or have you ever caught them all in any generation of Pokemon? And was your reward worth it? Let me know in the comments section below. Support the channel by donating to me on Patreon. The link for that is in the description box below. And thank you to everyone that continues to support me on Patreon. I appreciate your support very much. If you want to support the channel but you don't have Patreon, you can click the super thanks button below and support me directly through YouTube. If you could spare a little something for the content creator, anything would help. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the bell and set it to all to be notified of my future uploads. Thank you all for watching. This has been Brandon, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.